Next up on the starting grid for Algeria, it is the young African star Leo Robinson, who will represent his nation 29th on the starting grid.
The Academy Trophy of 2021 is about to begin. Will this be a good start? Yes, we're racing. Green light. Here we go. 21 lap in Wackersdorf, and Renault Franco trying to keep himself away from the rest of his rivals. Good start from pretty much everybody. One driver going wide on the way to the first breaking point of the hairpin, and one driver going sideways at the back end of the grid, but everybody seems to be pretty good going through. Oh, I've spoken too soon. A couple of drivers involved in the big shunt on the way to turn number 4. Big incidents with 4 drivers, 5 maybe, involved in the tussle. Who did we lose? Oscar Wurz, unfortunately. The 527 as well on your screen. Mark Dubinsky, Luca Fluccia, Noah Montero as well involved in the incident, as well as Tyler Jean Robinson. Oh, such a disappointment for all those youngsters. Oh, and another big bang in the midfield, the 511. Actually, that went almost on the other card of his rival. The 511 being, this is Luca Neuschanter, unfortunately, that will briefly slow in a bit of a trouble in an attempt to overtake one of his fellow drivers, and I think that indeed Neuschanter is the one slowing down on the left side of the track, coming back to the pit lane suddenly straight away. Unfortunately for him, I think there was a bit of a broken carbon at his front fairing by the look of it. We'll try to give you confirmation as soon as possible once the classification has been updated, but it was very brief indeed. But that's quite an hectic start of a final for the Academy Trophy, that's for sure. Renault Franco has seen none of it, absolutely. Keeping the advantage from pole position, is already pulling away, at least trying to. There he is, the 525, your leader from pole position, and from the Netherlands, Renault Franco competing as well in the European Championship, of course. Salim Anna by his side, 542. And we're only getting started, of course, for Renault Franco, that is as well in Oka Junior, and driver of the Xpree Racing team, led by Patrick Hayek, who is here this weekend to take care of his drivers in the Academy Trophy as well. Renault Franco, Salim Hanna, Caleb Garfor making up 2 positions in third. Oh, watch out, 3 drivers side by side in the first hairpin. Beautifully made. I think one of them lost a pile of position in the process. That's the 550, I'm afraid, that lost a couple of positions. This is Alexander Skelchen, and he had been such a great recovery so far. 18 positions recovered, up to 12, but he might have actually lost a couple of those places in the passage of the first hairpin. So it was a bit hectic over there with the drivers tangling all over the place, trying to find the best place and the best racing line. We're only getting started as the lap number 3 is about to be completed in this FIA Karting Academy Trophy final. Renault Franco, Salim Alla, then Caleb Garfa. This is your top 3 at the moment, 0.5 of a second between Salim Anna and Caleb Garfa. Look out of the 542, is trying to get as close as possible. Garfa, of course, is going to go around the inside and already switch for the lead with beautifully made from Salim Hanna. Salim Hanna is leading the way in this final of the Academy Trophy. And now it's down to Renault Franco to try to keep up with the leader, because behind he's going to have Caleb Garfa trying to catch up as well. Great battle between the 3 youngsters, already pulling away from the rest of the field. As you can see, Salim Hanna, Renault Franco and Caleb Garfa are currently having 1.4 second advantage on Dion Goda. Dion Goda, the Ricky Finn Motorsport driver in the European Championship, is trying everything that he can to keep up with the top 3, but this will be no easy task at all. Dion Goda 4th in front of Yevan David. We almost forgot about the young guy from Sri Lanka, but in the meantime, he was able to keep up with the pace of his rivals and climbing 6 positions in just 4 laps. So Yevan David in 5th place now in front of Massis Gladys. Then we have Bart Harrison making up a place in front of Jaakko Lehtinen. This is for 7th place. Darius Babanova is 9, going ahead as well of Maximilian Schleimer. So a couple of changes in the top 10. Bart Harrison, your pole sitter at the beginning of the weekend, right now driving in 7th place, is the fastest on track in 52.0. The battle on your screen with Salim Anna, Renault Franco just behind him, trying to keep up with the pace. He keeps observing his rival. This is still, of course, very, very soon to try to do something maybe unwise at this point of the race. Oh, unfortunately, the 526 is out of this race, out of the final, and what a despair from one of the South African drivers. This is Nicolas Rose, unfortunately. We had the pleasure to talk to him earlier during our interviews during the live stream, and he was so happy and so motivated for his first appearance representing South Africa. We didn't get to see, unfortunately, what happened, but by the look of it, maybe it was the result of an incident as the yellow flag is being waved just outside of turn number 10. This is the last hairpin of the track before the corner on the way back to the fast straight of the start finish. But what a disappointment for this young guy, Nicolas Roos. Very, very nice indeed, but he won't make it through to the checkered flag in this final of the Academy Trophy. 5 laps completed, almost 6 here by Salim Hana, doing a great job. The 542 is pulling away just a little bit already, almost 0.3 of a second. Renaud Franco in second place. Caleb Garafar is third, and there you can see him, Nicolas Roos, crossing the track. He's gonna put himself in a safe place alongside the marshals, waiting for the conclusion of this final, of course. Dion Gouda, the fastest on track, and that's interesting because 1.2 seconds is still quite a consequent gap on the Caleb Garafar in third place. But if Dion Gouda starts on putting qualifying lap after qualifying lap, he might have a chance, he might have a shot at the podium if he keeps on going. And hopefully for him, he actually made the signal to his rivals, let's work together, let's not attack each other just way too soon, because otherwise we'll never make it close to the top 3 drivers. The 542 is Salim Hana on your screen, still leading the way very, very strongly. Oh, beautifully made further back from the 537. This is right in the midfield. This is Aaron Krepsic, actually, who just went ahead. Nicolas Ambiado for 21st position, if I'm not mistaken. Back with the leaders outside of the first hairpin on the way to turn number 4. Very, very tight hairpins. There's 3 of them on the Wackersdorf layout. As I got a chance to go for a bit of a track walk over there at lunchtime. Those hairpins are so tight, so narrow, especially as well this passage in the chicane when you have that big inside curve. That reminds me a bit of the layout that we have in Genk in the similar disposition at the end of the straight. And watch out, because the move is coming up from Dion Gouda, Caleb Garafar. Beautifully made, Dion Gouda and Garafar side by side. Who will have the advantage in the turn 11? And this will be Garafar, I think, on the inside. Look at them go already in the start-finish straight, and the advantage goes to Dion Gouda. Dion Gouda making a place. This is the battle for third position. As we said, Dion Gouda is going very, very fast indeed in this race for the past few laps. Even though the fastest on track right now is Alexander Bondarev in 13th place, but what a move that was for Dion Gouda. But there might be more coming up, because Caleb Garafar, I'm afraid, is losing pace and losing ground. The next could be Yevan David. Yevan David further back from Sri Lanka, who is trying to catch up as well with the top 3 drivers. At the moment, Dion Gouda is harassing Renaud Franco right now. Watch out for the move coming up. As we have Yevan David indeed getting ahead of Caleb Garafar. The move is done, as we have in 4th place now Yevan David, 549 ahead of the young American. Oh, it's going back and forth at all stages, but the battle is going to be raging for the first position at the podium in this Academy Trophy, as we're getting near the half mark of this race. Lap number 10 out of 21, and on your screen in second position is the 549. Sorry, my apologies. In 4th position is Yevan David indeed, trying to get close to Dion Gouda. On your screen, the 522. This is further back with good recovery as well from Darius Babayona. Babayona climbing up 8th position, up in 7th place. She's going to try to get close to Bart Harrison, even though there's a bit of a gap, 1.3 seconds at the moment. Leo Robinson, the fastest on track. The young driver from Mozambique, making up places after places, 15 positions gained up to 14. So very, very difficult weekend for Leo Robinson, who, if you remember, was involved in the incident with Yevan David in the last qualifying race this morning. And as a result, Leo Robinson had a lot of climbing to do from further back from the grid. Doing a good job, 15th place up to 14, and the fastest lap in the pocket as well after 10 laps completed. So a lot of good recovery efforts within the midfield in this Academy Trophy. Ricardo Agnello in 11th place with 11 positions recovered, 13 positions recovered for Alexander Bondarev in 12. Then we have 8th place recovery for Zelenko following in 13, 15th place reset for Robinson. Great efforts from the youngsters of the Academy Trophy. Alexander Skelchen as well in 16th place, 14 positions better than his starting position. That's a bit for the information. Further back and for the statistics, of course. But Renault Frankot in the lead still, with almost half of a second advantage on Salim Hanna. Dion Gouda trying to catch up as much as he can, but he still has a full second of delay behind Renault Frankot. Watch out, because now there's gonna get down to the street driver battle. They're getting very, very close indeed. 5:47, this is happening further back and going around the inside. Beautifully made from Leo Robinson, who's pushing his opponent quite a bit wide on the track. Leo Robinson on the outside of turn number 4, and he makes it through. It was beautifully made, and the 5:38 being in this case with Leo Robinson. This is Leon Zelenko, my apologies. Leon Zelenko actually got overtaken by Leo Robinson, the battle for 12th position. That was very tight, and we actually had Ricardo Agnello as well in the mix in that 3-driver battle. The drivers here into the last sector, on the way to turn 11, on that little bump, that little hill at the end of the track. Very lovely at full speed. That must be quite a sensation to go up that hill on the way to turn 11. That never-ending fast right-hander, double right-hander even. Back with the leaders. This is another 4-driver battle. Run the inside is the 5:17. This is Maciej Gladys trying to overtake and overtaking Jago Leitinen, the 5:21. Beautifully made. This is a battle at the moment for 8th place. 4 drivers in the same picture, with Gladys in 8th place indeed, in front of Leitinen, Maximilian Schleimer as well, and Alexander Bondarev involved in that 4-driver battle. Beautiful in the midfield over there, as we almost forgot about the battles further up in the classification. Now, side by side, tangling against one another is Caleb Garafar, the 5:01, with just behind Darius Babanova on a fantastic pace. He's been able to climb 9th position and maybe more, because Garafar doesn't seem to be having the pace that he had in the opening stages. He's losing a bit of momentum, actually with 1.3 seconds disadvantage from Yevan David. So at the moment, Garafar, the 5:01, is very much defending against Darius Babanova, and Babanova just goes for it. Beautifully made around the inside, but watch out for the fighting back from Garafar, who's having none of it, and unfortunately was unable to switch the positions once again into the chicane, but he's gonna be stuck, unfortunately. Caleb Garafar with Bart Harrison, the pole sitter, just behind him. Not really the race that he had foreseen in his head. Bart Harrison, I'm afraid, starting from the upper part of the grid, pole position on Friday. He was one of the strongest, of course, coming into this race for his first appearance from the front row starters, but dropping a 5th place in the process of the opening part of the race. Now, can he have the horsepowers back on? Can he have maybe the pace back on to try to decrease his gap on the leaders? The first obstacle to go through will be the 5:01 of Caleb Garafar, another driver who we might have expected a little bit higher in the classification, but there's a good battle coming up, as Darius Babayona is having a fantastic pace at the moment. Yevan David still in 4th, trying to chase Dion Gouda. 0.8 of a second at the moment between Yevan David and Dion Gouda. Then we have still in 2nd place Salim Anna and Renault Frankot. Run the insides at the 5:02. This is happening for the back. Bart Harrison actually going around Caleb Garafar. That's the switch we had been expecting, and I think it was just made by Bart Harrison. Let's wait for confirmation. Yes, indeed. You've seen it on the left side of your screen, and confirmation as well on track, with Bart Harrison ahead of Garafar, the British driver against the American. Bart Harrison, that we've used to see competing in other international series, climbing the ranks of international karting, and learning his racing craft in the academy, as well as Garafar coming from the United States, from South Carolina to be exact. And we got a chance to talk to some of these drivers in the Academy Trophy, talking to them about how difficult it has been to compete into these parts of the world due to the current pandemic. But the spectacle they're offering us is absolutely fantastic. Watch out around the outside, the 5:21. This is a battle for 9th place, with Jaco Leitinen trying to get around Maciej Gladys once again. Almost 4x4. And watch out, there was a bit of an off for one of the drivers in the back of your screen. But at the moment, great battle indeed. And Jaco Leitinen made that stick beautifully outside of turn 11. And that's going to be very tight indeed. He's defending, but losing another 3 positions, unfortunately. What just happened to Jaco Leitinen? He let Maciej Gladys, Maximilian Schleimer, and Leo Robinson through. That's something we were not used to see. after such a good sequence of overtaking maneuvers. He was ahead of those 3 drivers, but then in just one corner he went a little bit wide into the hairpin of corner number 2 and couldn't do nothing about it, and was overtaken by 3 drivers at once. So he's gonna have to do it all over again, hopefully keeping up with the pace. Great battle within the midfield, of course. This is happening at the back end of the top 10 between Leitinen, Gladys, Schleimer and Robinson at the moment. 17 laps in, lap number 18, 5:42 on your screen is the driver pushing like never before in second place. This is Salim Hanna, who took the lead in the opening stages of this race, the young driver from Colombia, and at the moment is not quite able to make it stick and keep up with the pace of Renault Francoeur, the Dutchman. But watch out, we still have a couple of more laps, less than 4 actually before the checkered flag, so nothing is done yet. If Salim Hanna can find that extra bit of a pace and concentration to try to decrease the gap. No easy task with 0.8 of a second at the moment between those two, with Dion Goda in third place trying as well to get as close as possible, but with 0.9 of a second this won't be easy for Dion Goda either, the driver from Singapore in third place. On your screen the 5:18, this is happening further back in the field. This is Maximilian Schleimer. The 5:18 on your screen got ahead actually of the 5:21 Jaco Leitinen. Another move in the bag. It's not happening the way he had foreseen it, I'm afraid. 5:18 of Maximilian Schleimer in 11th place, and followed by Jaco Leitinen. The battle is still raging just outside of the top 10. Less than 3 laps to go. You can see how close actually he is, Jaco Leitinen from Finland, trying to make his opponent, of course, lose his patience, lose his pace, and trying to find the gap that he needs to get ahead of his rival. But it's fair to say that the level of driving, as the drivers themselves can actually acknowledge, is very, very high indeed, especially when everybody in the field has the same chances with the same material, and it's really down to the drivers to be able to make a difference. Dion Goda is trying as much as he can to make a difference in this race once again, but time is running out as the checkered flag is very near for us. 9/10 will be certainly too much for Dion Goda to climb and try to get close to Salim Hanna. So we're getting ourselves ready for certainly a top 3 in that order. Renault Francoeur, Salim Hanna and Dion Goda, as the checkered flag is upon us very, very soon in the final of the Academy Trophy. On your screen is the 5:06 Dion Goda indeed, and look who's coming back just behind him for 0.4 of a second, Jevan David. Maybe this race is not particularly over in terms of classification on the podium, because Dion Goda, Jevan David, sorry, is coming back very, very fast indeed. Just 1 lap remaining, 1.2 kilometers left for Renault Francoeur. Oh, and some trouble for some of the drivers over there. Who got involved in the tussle there? It just happened outside. This is Jaco Leitinen, I'm afraid. Jaco Leitinen, who was dropping positions after positions in the last laps, and unfortunately is going to have to retire of this final. Quite unfortunate for the Finnish driver. Jaco Leitinen is nowhere to be seen. Unfortunately, we didn't see if it was a mechanical trouble or the result of a tangling with one of his fellow drivers. But in the meantime, on your screen, Renault Francoeur, the young Dutchman, on his way to his first victory in the FIA Karting Academy Trophy. He knows it already, punching a little bit the air with his left fist on the way to turn 11. That's going to be a great achievement for Renault Francoeur. Victory for the Dutchman, Renault Francoeur in Wackersdorf, in front of Salim Hanna and Dion Goda, who tried everything that he could, but this will be the final order. Beautiful performance from Renault Francoeur, who managed third fastest lap in qualifying, won twice through the qualifying heats, and from pole position lost the lead just a little bit to Salim Hanna in the first stages of this race before taking the position back and never watching back over his shoulder. Great performance. Your winner of the day this weekend in the Academy Trophy, Renault Francoeur, Salim Hanna in second place, Dion Goda third, Jevan David following in fourth place, Darius Babanova in fifth. Then we have Bart Harrison, Caleb Garfara, Alexander Bondarev, and Leo Robinson, as well as Marcel Gladys.